Hello, welcome back. Today I want to discuss what the future might hold for Outriders post-release content and how it ties into some of my concerns, particularly with Borderlands 3 and Call of Duty monetization. It's an important topic in today's day and age where long gone are the days of paying $60 for a title and being done and having it be supported for the rest of its life. Hope you enjoy. In regards to Outriders, there have been a lot of questions posed to the developers and the publishers regarding post-launch content, and basically the response from People Can Fly, the dev team behind Outriders, has been, we are more focused on releasing a full game at launch than we are at being concerned about downloadable content, post-launch content, season passes, battle passes. And it's interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a good sign that the devs are more so concerned with this game being full, completely polished upon release. I mean, just look at the demo, right? Like, it's a good sign that a company is willing to do this. I think that a lot of companies these days are not really motivated to put out any sort of test to make sure their game is ready for actual release. You can think of like 15 titles off the top of my head. Most notably would be the recent example of Cyberpunk 2077, right? Game was in development, game was delayed, game was in development, game was delayed. And what ended up happening is the publishers basically said enough is enough. You need this game to come out now. And what happened? There was a complete and total shitstorm with especially the previous generation consoles, the Xbox One and the PS4, just being completely unplayable. People were pissed. There's refunds were promised that were promised by the development team, but not backed by the publisher. The people who had PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones are actually, I believe, currently in a class action lawsuit against the development team because of false promises, and they said they showcased video of it being played on the previous gen consoles, which was never the case. It was always footage from up-to-date hardware. So that's a perfect example of game companies really just not going the extra mile and doing a beta, an alpha, a demo. These are things that used to be much more prevalent in the industry. The developers used to like these things because they could get feedback from players about what was going on in their game, what was working, what was broken, what needed to be paid attention to, settings, maybe optimization. But, you know, publishers have the final say, right? Publishers are the people with the money. Publishers are the ones who are setting deadlines. And, I think it's partly good, right? Because publishers need to put that pressure, because otherwise developers can, they're like the artists, right? They can work on something forever and it'll never be perfect for them. So it's a balance, and that much I understand. It is a balance. But back to the Outriders thing here. They've mentioned so much how they're not concerned with season passes, post-launch content. This is not a live service game, they've said repeatedly, sort of like Borderlands. And that's good, but it's also a cause for concern because I've seen some of the footage on the expeditions, right? The post-game or the end-game content. It looks badass. I really am excited for expeditions. But, without adding more of those, eventually it'll become stale, whether it's a month, maybe a week, maybe 6 months, we don't know, but eventually they will have to add content. We have to see what happens with this game after it has been out for a while and after people have completely beat all of the endgame content. The consensus response from the Outriders devs is that we're waiting and seeing. From a quote from a Forbes article, right now it's up to the players. Creative director Bartek Kmitma said, if they want more, we are more than happy to create more content, more adventures, more stories, more classes, other things. Right now, we're not thinking about that. We want to ship the game, and then we'll see how people are reacting. So the old wait and see approach, I'm cool with this. I just worry about their ability to create new content quickly. If they're not already working on it, I have no doubt in my mind this game is going to be a success. I just personally use myself as an example. I'm a very small and new YouTube channel. I had been playing and doing videos on Call of Duty for a couple of months. It was going absolutely nowhere. That's fine. That's how it is. It's a really saturated area for YouTube videos, right? So I understand that. But then I switched to Outriders, and it, again, is a demo. I've been showing footage that everybody else has been seeing, and people are still viewing it because they're so interested in this game. They're willing to watch potentially a video by some new YouTube channel who's showing nothing different at all from some of the other footage out there. They're so hooked on wanting to know every single ounce of information about this game. that they're willing to just give new YouTube channels a try. So first of all, that's cool. But second of all, it just reaffirms my opinion that I don't see this game failing, barring some sort of development catastrophe. And what we have in the demo seems pretty polished, right? There's some buggy issues. Again, some of the skills are a little funky. Some minor bits and pieces of polish that need to be messed with. But the development team is actively listening to player feedback. Today, the Xbox got the patch for having the option to turn off motion blur. That was a big one. Really didn't like seeing that. So I'm curious how they will implement more monetization into this game, specifically because the model of paying 50 or 60 or 70 bucks, I think on PlayStation 5 now, for a game and that just being it is pretty much done. That I don't think is ever coming back. Publishers are pretty fond of increasing their share value. They have to answer to shareholders. So it's going to be interesting to see how Outriders approaches this delicate subject. What is the best type of monetization? Because I think if we look at Borderlands 3, is a perfect example of failed monetization. I think they broke the cardinal rule that Activision Blizzard found out with Call of Duty a couple years ago. You cannot put weapons or playable characters behind paywalls. You just can't do it. You absolutely cannot do it. The Season Pass in Call of Duty, I don't know if anyone's played Call of Duty recently, but they realized that you cannot put exclusive guns into the Season Pass because the people who don't want to pay extra money for the Season Pass are going to be furious. And they rightfully so. They have that right to be pissed because they paid for a full title and they are being blocked from certain weaponry behind a paywall. In regards to monetization, that Call of Duty has absolutely nailed, and it's an extension of what was happening at Fortnite, right? Just make it skins. Just do all vanity everything. That took publishers a very long time to figure out. And to me, it's great. I used to play a lot of World of Tanks. It's like a, action tank arcade game. Very fun, super addicting. And it took them over a decade with World of Tanks PC before they realized, holy shit, we don't need to make premium vehicles that are just better than what you can play for free. All we need to do is add skins. It took them way too long to figure this out. The player base had already dwindled because players are tired of having to pay extra money for content, guns, vehicles, tanks, playable characters that are just better than what you can play for free. You cannot do that. Borderlands did this with a lot of the DLC weaponry, which is better than anything you can get in the base game. Just no question. And this was a result of them wanting to avoid the concept of the battle pass. They didn't want to do a live service. They didn't want to do a battle pass where you had to pay money every 60 days or however long the season is to get this new content and grind it out. So to me, that seems like a complete and total abject failure. When my friends don't want to play Borderlands 3 with me because they just see how quickly I'm shredding enemies and they're like, whoa, what gun is that? I want to go, let's go farm that. I'm like, you can't. They're like, why? It's because it's a DLC gun. Oh, so you need the DLC to farm it? Can you just give me one? Yeah, I can give you one, but you can't equip it because you need the DLC to use it. That is just completely broken, and I don't know why that's the option they chose. For me, follow the tried and true Fortnite Call of Duty method. Just allow people to wail out on skins. There's no harm in having a ridiculous number of skins in a game. Some people will complain that it messes with the immersion, the realism to see, neon pink guns or neon lighted tanks on the battlefield in World of Tanks. But smart game publishers have learned this, and World of Tanks on PC, I don't know on Xbox, and I don't know Call of Duty, I haven't looked for this, but they have a setting for disable unrealistic skins, and you can just turn off all of the camouflages that weren't around in the World War II, World War I period, whatever vehicle you're playing. And so that is a basically safety net for people who do not want to see the ridiculous neons and pinks and purples on the battlefield. So to tie this back to Outriders, I really hope they go with the standard model, which again is making these companies a ton of money. And you might disagree with me on how monetization should be handled. But to me, if people are willing to shell out and go full whale on skin after skin after skin to the point where they can't even remember all the skins that they purchased, and now the development team and the publishers are making money with a slim chance of them investing some of that money back into free community content, just like Call of Duty. What has Call of Duty done? All of the new maps, all of the new zombie maps, multiplayer maps are all free. There's no season pass anymore in Call of Duty. That used to be the meta. At Call of Duty, you'd buy the yearly season pass on top of the base game for $100 pre-order. I did this for numerous years. I'd even pay extra for collector's editions. But now that model's dead. That model is dead, and I think Borderlands is going to be the last of the dying breed where they stick with the stupid season pass idea where you have to buy content and it encompasses everything: weapons, playable characters, skill trees, all of that stuff, instead of just allowing us to buy a stupid battle pass. And for the few select individuals of us who have that deep bankroll who just want to wail out on skins. I had a lot of fun doing this. I love talking. I love discussion. I try to respond to literally every single comment as soon as I get the notification on my phone. So if you like talking video games, monetization, whatever it is, and you like this kind of concept, let me know. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, sub. Plan on doing more talk and shop videos very soon. We out.